Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 140 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we have a great show for you today. Some amazing homes.
Really do. Two really cool homes.
Two really great houses.
Two really cool homes that are, one of them is a townhome in the Oak Lawn area, and the other one is a really cool single-family home in North Dallas.
You do not want to miss those. They are great. And in the second half, we're going to talk all about things your grandmother never told you about saving money. And the market, the weather's not quite 100 degrees, which is amazing, but it seems like the market is still doing quite well.
Yeah, it really is. Just the activity that's out there in the market right now seems to be just churning. We're going to show you Market Watch in a minute, and you'll see that things have really begun to kind of change a bit for the last 2 weeks or so. We've seen quite a bit of a change in it.
And we've seen just the way that even our client and our spheres are operating, things have really begun to pick up again as well. I think that with the 4-day weekend over, it's time for everybody to kind of get back in serious. One of the things that we have noticed is that there's been quite a few people that talk about how many people are coming into the Texas and specifically into North Texas and then again into Dallas and what they're doing to the economy. And it was a really interesting tweet that I found that kind of talked a little bit more about that it's not just California, New York, and other states moving in, but it's also the groups that are putting together money, both for pensions and from just investment purposes, and buying up a lot of single-family homes. And so it does take a chunk.
That's been a kind of a growing trend for the last several years, I think, just for investment companies to go together. We actually have one of the clients that we've just listed their home that is one of their forms of business. They're interesting because a little different because they formed this company and they have their investor group that have put money into it, and they have built the houses from the ground up.
That's a lot different. Well, Rob Russell had a house out in Rome, and that was one of the very first transactions that we had that was in that situation where the agent actually called in and they didn't even preview the house. It was written under an LLC, and they just bought it, and it was a very smooth transaction. I think we actually have a screenshot of that tweet, so if you want to take a look at it, that is actually, I believe, that is on Business Insider. So it's a really great article, worth the read if you've got the time.
It really is. You want to jump on the Market Watch?
Let's do it.
Okay. Market Watch I thought was really interesting this week. And one of the things that we're doing now is we're going to show you not just this week's numbers, but we're also going to show you last week's numbers just to give you a little bit of a comparison. So you can really see just the difference. Like July 1st through July 7th, there were 2,398 new listings in the MLS. July 8th through the 14th, that number has jumped up by about 20% to a little over 2,800.
And if you look at the decrease, I think that's one of the bigger signals right here is that we've got 1,300 this week versus almost 1,100 last week. So that, what do you think, about 20% difference?
It's about 30% difference. Yeah.
So that is kind of an indicator. Were they reaching just a little bit, or has the market kind of taking a breath?
And there were 22% more homes that went under contract into the option period than the week before. So there were 2,226 from the 8th through the 14th. Those that went out of the option period going into the next phase, there were a few more of those. There were about 10% more at 501. A lot more went pending.
That's a lot.
In the last week, 3,243. And then the number sold was a little over 3,000. That number did not change dramatically, but 30 to 45 days from now is when we will see that. The number of new listings that came on dropped a little bit. That dropped, or that were coming soon, excuse me, dropped down to 466.
But you know, it's interesting because the coming soon or dropped, but the number of new listings actually increased. So maybe that was like that shift. So
Yeah.
a lot of information, and it's very interesting. You know, one of these things you kind of have to really dive deeply into this to kind of get really macro into it. So if there's a neighborhood that you're interested in, maybe it's your own or maybe it's one that you're looking to invest in, let us know. We'd be happy to pull the data for that and kind of get an idea and run through it with you.
Absolutely. It's always interesting, even if you're not interested in selling at this moment. I think it's really important to keep up with what is going on with the value of your home. Is it a good neighborhood? You know, thinking about those things over time give you kind of a map as to when it might be a good time to sell that. Has your appreciation really maxed out in that neighborhood?
Absolutely.
You know, and if that's important to you, it's time to consider selling.
Yeah, is it now lot value or are they continuing to appreciate even with a home on it?
Yep.
So these are questions that we get all the time.
Yep.
And we're happy to answer for you.
So what'd you do over the last week or so?
I actually went to the lake and got sunburnt
Oh.
sufficiently. It was not what I expected. I thought I had sprayed properly, and I had, and I just forgot the lower half, and then fell asleep on a lily pad, and that was enough. And it was funny because I did not realize that I was sunburnt until dinner. And at dinner, all of a sudden, I realized, I was like, that is a lot of sweat right here. I was like, so that was it. It was a good weekend. Hung out with some of our clients. They had birthday parties. That was really great to go to as well. Went to a really interesting bar that is in Preston Tower. It is on the bottom floor of Preston Tower. Preston Tower is a residential building, but the bottom floor is for commercial space. Our chiropractor is down there, Dr. Nutt. And after dinner, everybody decided they were going to go there. And I was like, I have heard of this place, but I haven't been. And I was really curious. It's called Bernie's. So we went into Bernie's, and I have to tell you, it was really a great space. Bartender was spot on. He got slammed with like 40 of us that walked in. He had 2 before that. So I think he was like, whoa. Kept great pace with us. The pours were excellent. The Kettle One was not as expensive as what I expected. So I was very happy with how the night ended. So
Well, try that.
it was great. What did you do?
Went to a couple of pool parties. I worked a little bit on Saturday, worked a little bit on Sunday. You had a listing presentation on Sunday that we're getting ready to bring on the market.
Yep.
But that was really it. It was kind of a calm weekend for me, which was really great because, you know, the weekend before was really, really busy.
It was
And
busy.
It was. We'd had a big pool party the week before, and that took a lot to clean up from and
So
get over.
And I am 100% because I wasn't super excited about going to the lake, and then I get to the lake, and so Possum Kingdom, the weekend after 4th of July, is the weekend to actually be at PK. There were probably 4 boats that went past the dock where we were. It was really amazing.
When we owned our house down Cedar Creek Lake, it was really interesting because you dreaded the holiday weekends because the lake was so full of people, and a lot of times they were people, you know, who drove a boat 3 times a year.
Yep.
And didn't really, you know, they weren't bad, but it's just like there's a certain amount of cautiousness, and there's a way you interact with other boaters that people just don't learn if they're not there every week. And so
Well, my sister-in-law's house my sister's house and her family's is right across from, I think it's Coronado Island, maybe. And because of the proximity and because north is behind you and the way that the landscape and topography are, the water is super calm there. And so they get a lot of people that like to come through that area with surfing. And so that drops down and makes huge waves. So on those busy weekends when that happens, it is just miserable out there. But still a good time. And
Yeah.
it's crazy what lake property is doing these days. So that's a
Yeah.
whole nother episode.
And it was a good time to like relax and recharge because, you know, this week we've come back and it's kind of, you know, nuts
All
over
hands
again.
on deck.
So yeah,
It is all hands on deck right now.
yeah.
Well, let's get in the first one.
Okay, let's jump into our first home.
4230 Bowser Ave C. This is a great area of Oaklawn if you're not familiar with it. It's almost Oaklawn cousin to Uptown. It is a great spot. You have the both access to the toll road and also to 75 really quickly. Whether you're using Lemon or you're using Wycliffe, these are really great commuter areas.
One of the cool things about the location on this is it is directly between Douglas and Wycliffe. And so if you want to go the Wycliffe direction and you need to get over to the base of the tollway, or you need to get over to the medical district, it's right there. If you need to get over 75 using Douglas and Avondale going over, it's right there as well. And that to me is like a prime location in Oak Lawn.
It is, you're able to get anywhere really quickly in the uptown area. The other thing too, if you're a larger commuter, Love Field is just up the street, literally, for you. And if you're going to UT Southwestern or Parkland, this is within your 5-minute bubble, making life much easier for those 5 a.m. rotations.
They are, and it's only a couple of miles down to Katy Trail. And, you know, I know people probably make fun of me because I talk about the trails so much, but to me, those are such a critical part of our city anymore, not just for recreation, but just it provides a place of calmness, and it provides a place to get out and meet your neighbors. And having access to that brings so much value, not just to the people or the homes, but the people's lives, I believe.
And I think if you're from a larger metro area, it would remind you of the High Line. So really interesting thing to think about. This building is actually a 4-unit building, and it is situated so that it's a little bit off of the street, so it's really, really quiet. And this is a front courtyard, and one of the amazing things about this front courtyard is it allows a lot of natural light and allows your eye to travel there on the first floor. And the way that it's designed, it also gives you a lot of light on the second floor.
It really does. And this is, there were only a few of these communities that were built, and they all follow this same pattern. And I love the open floor plan that you get. This owner did a fantastic thing by putting that mirror up on the wall. I know people think mirrors are passé sometimes, but this one really makes a difference in how big you feel that unit is.
Absolutely, and it's rare that you get a front private courtyard, both from the light standpoint, but also from another layer of privacy. And as you can see here, you also have a back courtyard. So if you have a little pet, it's also fenced, so it's a great space for you to allow them to jump out. Track lighting throughout here allows you to highlight. As you can see, this homeowner has a lot of art. And it's a very symmetrical floor plan. So it's an easy floor plan for you to able to put all of your, as you can see, art and trinkets out. And it makes sense because I feel like a lot of times when there's wasted space or dead space, people really are not sure how to make those function.
That's very, very true. And this has polished concrete floors on the first floor, which gives it a really good continuous feel, as you go from the kitchen to the half bath into the living room and dining room. This owner's used area rugs, which I think made a lot of sense, and they help kind of absorb some of that noise that sometimes you can get with concrete floors.
And we've been over here probably 10 or 15 times, and this is one of those neighborhoods that is just extremely quiet, which is really great because I feel like when you come back, you want to have a place where you're able to be tranquil and whatnot, and this just really felt that. Storage was also a great thing. As you can see right there behind the bar cart is where the stairs are, and they've made the most of that by having a large walk-in, basically second utility little area. And behind the wall where the crosses are is a really great defined galley kitchen. Now, one of the things about this is that if that wall needed to be opened up to create more of a pass-through or a bar, this is a really great place for someone to come in and to be able to do small upgrades and really kind of create a space that has their signature to it.
Absolutely. And the kitchen was redone in the past few years. So you got stainless steel appliances, the big pot racks that are still there. It does have Formica countertops, but they work really well in this size of a unit and this price point of a unit.
And I love the fact that he's actually taken and bolted the microwave above the oven, so as we have more countertop space. And then the way that he's taken and used the dishes and the racks both behind the wall and on the sink here to kind of serve as a backsplash for like what a cook would really want. And this is the half bath.
Yeah, and this is the half bath and laundry room.
Yeah.
Which is really great. It's got full size space for stack units there, generous sized half bath. And then when you come back out, you have the corner stairs that are tucked over, and the industrial rails that just really go with the unit. That is a commercial grade carpet that goes upstairs and is throughout the second floor. I love this hallway because it's another place for any kind of art that you have.
And the skylight and the can lights really help that. And as you come up all the way to that second floor, you've got this really large and surprisingly long and wide little landing. And he actually took and replaced, there's a little step out door with the Juliet, and he actually replaced that and just put a window there. So again, it kind of begins to make a little more sense. And as we talked about how downstairs that courtyard provided the natural light for the first floor, as you come into this first bedroom on the left-hand side is the master, you get a lot of natural light from that as well.
Really do. These are south-facing windows. They don't line up with any other windows there, but it's far enough away from the other building that you do have really good, just natural light flow in. He has continued to use the track lighting in here, and I know people think track lighting is not good, but this owner has done a really good job with placement, the style, the quality of the fixtures. It's really done nicely.
And one of the things that is everyone loves to do is use dark colors in the walls, and if you don't have enough natural light, it doesn't work. And as he's taken his second bedroom and turned it into an office, you can see here it's two-sided desk, which is really smart, and it's got a wall of bookshelves. And again, it's just tastefully done, and it makes sense both with the size and the space. These are the windows. You've got two windows here and two windows on the other side for the other bedroom, but this is that natural light. We've got windows on two sides, which is a rarity in so many condos today.
It really is, and again, you've got a lot of natural light in full bath upstairs with the skylight, the big walk-in shower stall that they had apparently taken the tub out at some point before and done, the 2x2 tile that just goes right along with the style of the unit.
Now what we're going to do now is we're going to transition back downstairs. We want to kind of show you a little more about what that outdoor space looks like. As you can see here, the fence is relatively new. It is board on board with the topper, and it's been stained. One of the great things about this is that we create a continuous look with the flagstone. A little more difficult to see just because the leaves were coming down at that time, but you get an idea for the way that this space flows.
And the HOA has done a really good job in taking care of issues in the back, like there were drainage issues there, and the HOA had put an underground drain that runs from those different courtyards there out to the front of the property.
And here you can see it's not just a walk up, that there is a privacy gate at the beginning of the complex. And then the way that your unit is situated, it has another, as you can see here on unit A, another locking door. So it's a really great unit in the heart of Oak Lawn. Little space right here for you to get your mail. And the great thing about this unit is parking is in the back and it's gated and secured.
It is. 4230 Bowser Avenue, number C, is a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, built in 1979, a little over 1,000 square feet, and it is priced at $285,000, which makes it $259.56 a square foot.
And if that is something that you'd like to take a look at, there is a link in the comments below. Please click on that or direct messages, and we'd be happy to show that to you. It is a wonderful home and quick and easy to show.
Our next home today is at 6947 Lavendale, and this is a home that we saw on tour this week. It's listed by one of our coworkers, and was such a great home that we were like, okay, let's call her and see if we can talk about this on the show, because it really is a unique home.
And it is in a great location of Dallas, a little bit north of, as you see here, Royal, and the street taking you up to Forest is going to be Hillcrest. That's right. This also backs directly up to the North Haven Trail, which is a great, as Jeff says often, he loves the trails, and this is one of the ones that is near and dear to his heart as he travels it from 75 all the way to, what's your end?
Monroe.
There you go.
The UPS store on the eastern side.
15 miles, the man makes it happen. So if this is something that you'd be interested in, this is a little great area. Royal is an amazing commuter street. It's just to the north of Walnut Hill, south of Forest. Connects you all the way to 75 and gets you back all the way to 35 as well, and the toll road.
Yeah, and if you're, in terms of shopping, you've got Preston Forest not very far away. You've got some really great restaurants at Preston Royal. The Central Market at Preston Royal has reopened now, and there's just a lot of opportunity around there. The Studio Movie Grill, which is over at Royal and 75, is now open again.
And this is a really great space. You wouldn't think it, but is really easy to get to White Rock Lake as well.
And this is a really great style home with a lot of stone, a lot of brick construction. just beautiful walk up to it.
It did. And this is one of the ones that has like the heritage oak trees. It's set back off of the street. As you can see here, it is a 3-car garage. That's the one on the left-hand side, and there is 2 in the back. A nice iron gate. As you can see, there's a level of fit and finish on this home that we'll be pointing out as we go through, but it's just the right amount. As you walk in through that front door, you can see that you have a dining room here on the right-hand side. Nice ceiling height as well, chandelier, and they have done some really great intricate inlay there on the floor, as you see, and it also pitches over into a really great office. This is just looking at it from a different angle, and I believe this also does open up to the kitchen, so it's a great combination walkthrough.
Yeah, it really is. And this next picture is the one of the studio that Weston was talking about, and they've got really great built-ins, big storage in the closet. The hand scraped wood floors really has such a rich feeling of just a rich style, I think.
And as we move into what we would call the entry, you see here that the entry is so large that we can put a baby grand piano in it, which is amazing. I think those are really special pieces. On the right-hand side, you see that there is a small little wine area, and we opens up to this amazing living room. Now, the living room is large, spacious, and one of the things that they've done that's really great is they've moved the staircase to the back to allow you to really take in and appreciate the entire space that we have here.
And you really have wonderful views. As you step over here, you still get to see back into the front of the house. So you've got this really great living area that is kind of the informal space. This is that very popular style where the kitchen and the bar are open to the living room. This one is one of those where, we talked about last week where it had a little bit of a built-up bar. So if you're a person who doesn't wash dishes instantly and you want to hide them back there, this is the perfect style for you.
And as you can see here, these are solid wood cabinets, probably built on site. They have a great, and if I was guessing, it would be knotty alder is the material. Built-in pantry, solid core wood doors, and again, they've done a great job of creating that intricate inlay on the floor and the entry in the backsplash there that you see. Also, I believe that is either Thermador or Wolf appliance, and as you can see, it is a very large and generous sized cooktop.
And this is the informal dining area that looks out over the back porch and over the backyard. Again, really large windows, super light that comes in. And this home has recent updates include the roof, HVAC, the fence, and tankless hot water heater.
That's a lot. And as we look in here, this master bedroom is a lot as well. Great space. The way that it bays out those windows creates just a little extra space, and that detailing is continued up to the crown molding and to the tray ceiling as well. Large space that makes it feel very volume. And then we transition into the master bedroom, separate sinks. As you can see, separate jetted tub, walk-in shower, and I'm not 100% we are going to get a picture. The walk-in closet is amazing.
This walk-in closet was really something. I did like how they had made a larger shower. Many times when you have that separate tub and separate shower, the shower gives a little bit, but that one was plenty big.
And I think here one of the things that's extraordinary, not just the amount of storage space that you have, both for your shoes and for seating and bench, but also the chandelier that's up there. It was amazing. It is typically something that we would see in a dining room. It is honestly that big. So,
and as we zip upstairs, this is the media room that has a bath off of it. Also, it's a full bath. Great sized room. You could host parties in here, plenty of room for a pool table, turn it into a full-time media room. Great light from the backyard, and you've got a bar area there off to the left also.
Honestly, to me, this really read almost as a second master, as a multi-generational family, or for someone who has guests that travel to visit and may stay here longer than a month, 6 weeks. Just the way that it's set up, it's such a great space for them to be able to come and enjoy and not feel like everybody's on top of each other the entire time. As we see, we have a large bedroom as well, king-size bed here, and an ensuite bathroom with walk-in closet.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
And we've got really great outdoor space. So you've got a covered patio here. So you can use this year round. They've got built-in heating. They've got built-in speakers. As you can see, the TV's already out there. And this is a paved stone back porch that goes all the way out to the pool.
And so many times I feel like we get outdoor space that is either 100% dedicated to adult entertainment or it's for the kids. And I feel like this is a really great give and take for both, because we've got the pool, but we also have covered space for cooking and for lounging, but we also have additional fire space here at the back of the property around a very nice landscaped area, continuing with the flagstones. that just really begin to tie this entire area together and really take advantage of the entire lot here.
Yeah, and total privacy in that backyard. That's either an 8 or 10-foot board-on-board privacy fence with cap. Just an immaculate backyard. Really, really just a spectacular home.
So this is 6947 Lavendale. It is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 4 full, 1 half, a 3-car garage built in 2009, just a hair over 5,000 square feet, and it's $1,790,000, which is $357 a foot. And if this is something that you'd like to look at, click on the comments below. There's a link for this property, and we'd love to show it to you.
And we'd like to say thank you to Karen Fry for letting us talk about her home.
Yep.
So if you do want to take a look at any of the properties, just click on the link below. We'd be happy to help you and show it to you, or anything else in the neighborhood as well. And with that, we'll be right back. There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com, where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223. And welcome back to the second segment of episode 140, Sold with Updike Pugh. And today, guess what we're going to talk about?
Your grandma.
Kind of. Things grandma never told you about saving money.
This is an interesting, and I love this picture. Jeff and I looked at it and we both said, actually, that looks like my dad's family from Oklahoma.
And the woman on the right looks like my grandmother from Oklahoma.
100%. I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like this could be. And we just thought it was a fun little topic just to kind of talk about ways you can save money, but not just about saving money in general, but more looking at how you can save money in and around your house. Because, like, of course, since we're real estate, we thought we'd take that angle and go with it.
Absolutely.
What's the first one you think?
You know, one of the things, this is something that I think people think about and then they don't necessarily do, but it really is it's really a good way to save money, and that is to rent one of your rooms out.
And this is one of the ones that I think you could stretch it even a little bit further, and it's not just saving money, but it's an active way to make money as well.
Yes.
So it does offset your living expenses, but it is passive income as well.
It is, and it is. I think that there are ways out there now to vet people that to have people live with you.
Absolutely.
Referrals from friends. The world's growing smaller and smaller. We're all becoming more and more connected, and one of the things, like, I rent my guest house out, and one of the things that I've always found is that I just have to go with my gut. Mm-hmm. And, I meet people or I talk to them on the phone, and you hear how they handle conversations, and
They are who they say.
that's right. Believe them when they show you who they are. And so I've had some really great experiences. Like, I had my friend Laura that lived with me for 9 years. I had my mom that lived with me for 3 years. I had my friend Blake that lived with me for 9 years. And then I had Corey that lived with me for 3 years. So,
And it's not a fair question to ask who's your favorite and who's your least.
let's see.
Don't answer that.
Yeah.
Don't answer that. The other way to look at it too is with the advent of Airbnb, there are other ways to also create that. So you're talking about somebody who's signing like a 12-month lease with you, but there's also ways that it could just be for the weekend, or if you're subsidizing yourself going on vacation and you know that your house is one that could be easily rented while you're gone, that might actually help pay for your vacation as well.
Absolutely. I think it's something definitely worth thinking about.
And I would say this much: this speaks more to a younger generation, because I feel like they're a lot more okay with that. And I think the older we get, the less we're okay with that.
Probably true.
What's the next one?
Number 2 is research the problem before you pay somebody to fix it.
You're great at this.
I have learned so much, and this is all pre-YouTube, but I've learned so much about home repairs just by watching, talking to the guy at Home Depot. I look at things like okay, I can probably attempt it 4 times before I spend more money than I would hiring somebody to come out and do it. And then I end up with the knowledge at the end of it.
That's not me. I hate doing that stuff. But I will say this much. I
why we're
love the fact
friends.
that he does, because I'll say, hey, and I'll do some research and I kind of have an idea. And I'll be like, can you help me out with this? But I will say that if you are like Jeff, then you would be an amazing landlord, because it kind of, I think that Jeff gets a little bit of like sense of accomplishment. And I think that the knowledge that he gains is something that he takes pride in. So I think that it's wonderful. And I think that more people should do it. I should probably do it more, but I just feel like my anxiety gets real high because I feel like I'm going to break it, and then I'm going to be in a worse situation than I was when I didn't have it all screwed up in parts.
What's Jason call me?
So Jason calls Jeff
Uncle Jeff,
Jeff, and he wants Uncle Jeff to come over and help him.
which means he needs help doing something.
It's the best. Uncle, can you call Uncle Jeff? Well, I'll call him.
Okay, next suggestion.
Watch your PMI. And this is your mortgage insurance. And with the acceleration of property values right now, once you're past, 20% value, you can get rid of that. And I think that more people are going to be in a situation by the end of this year that could be realized much sooner than actually paying down the mortgage. So the appreciation is outpacing that.
Yes. On conventional loans, there is a built-in timer where the PMI is going to fall off of the loan. But as the value of the home goes up, you can also, if you do get to that 80% loan to value
Threshold.
or below that threshold, then you can talk to your mortgage company about how do you drop that. And you might spend $500 or $600 on an appraisal because they want to make sure that it does meet those guidelines. But then, if you're saving $100 a month in PMI, it can make a significant difference over 4 or 5 years.
Absolutely, way past that $400 or $500 cost for that appraisal. So, the next one we want to talk about.
Resist the urge to file an insurance claim.
Yeah, this is kind of a big deal because if you have one that has a really high deductible, it's never going to be worth it. The other thing too is this is going to come back and be something that you're going to disclose on your seller statement when you go to sell the house.
Well, and that, and there in the background there's it's called the Clue report, and it's basically it's like a credit report
That everybody can see. In
that
the
every
world.
insurance company can see, and they can look at people's claim experience, and they can look at the claim experience on properties. And so if you go to sell your home, the buyer goes to get insurance, that insurance agent pulls a Clue report. They may call you and say, why do you have these 3 water penetration claims over the course of 4 years? And why didn't you put any of that on your disclosure statement?
And why isn't the work done? What'd you do with the money?
Yeah, what'd you do with the money?
Yeah.
And it kind of backing up the resist the urge to claim, it does come back to bite you financially. There are certainly times that you need to do it.
Absolutely.
But think about it. It should not be, I got to file an insurance claim. It shouldn't be an automatic assumption.
It should not, and that is one of those times when you kind of should reach out with people with experience and kind of get a outside perspective on what the situation is, and really kind of before that money gets spent or that claim comes in. So the last one we want to talk about is revisit your insurance policy. And I have to say that at first I was like, I don't know that I subscribe to this because I would never want to skimp on insurance. I've had the experience where the insurance wasn't where it should have been, and it is a nightmare when it's not. But I think when we started fleshing this out that it began to make more sense. And it's not so much decreasing value amounts, but it's watching for redundancies in coverage. And I thought that was really interesting because there are times when you don't need to pick up another line policy because it's already covered in the master. So you just kind of have to do a little more research and visit with your insurance agent as well to kind of get that specifically addressed.
Yeah, and your needs change. I mean,
That is 100%.
I think that it makes sense to review that policy every year when it comes up for renewal. I think you talk to your insurance agent, talk to about what the coverages are. If you haven't talked, maybe it's every 2 or 3 years you decide to go back out and rebid it to everyone. And one of the things that I would say when you do go rebid with other people, this is just a policy that I have or an approach I take is you can send them the declaration page, but just make sure that the policy charges are blocked out. Because I want everybody bidding from what the cost of their policy is, not just trying to beat the current policy that I have.
100%. And the other thing too is that a lot of times people are under the assumption that some of these large brands are always really giving you the best deal. And maybe at one point they did, but things change. And I think you were surprised that you went from a very strong, well-known local one carrier, and then we had Lizzie who helped us out, and Lizzie was in Houston, and Lizzie gave you a bid, and I think it was $700 below.
$700 a year less, yeah.
So again, it was, at first I was kind of like, I don't know about this topic, but it was good.
Yeah, good. Well, we hope you found interest in that. We really appreciate you spending your lunchtime with us. Come back and join us Wednesdays. We're here every Wednesday, Facebook Live, YouTube Live at noon.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.